Hi friend, I hope you're doing super well. I've been living in San Francisco for about 18 years now. My wife has been here for 11, so pretty long time. And some of the things I observed over the years is that San Francisco has always something going on, which is probably true for all major cities. There's always stuff going on. So you could be busy all day long, and you can still not reach all the events and all the things that are going on because you will never be able to. There's so much that it's impossible to step into all of it. But that leads for a lot of people to a point in their lives that they have a hard time to commit. They have a hard time to commit to events, they have a hard time to commit to anything. And the underlying reason for that is they don't want to miss out. They don't want to commit to something and then realize, oh, I want to go to this other event that's maybe even better than where I'm at right now. But the problem with that is that it leads to discontentment. We're actually never turning content because if we always try to find the better thing, we're actually never going to be anywhere really. Like we're just hopping from thing to thing and always trying to figure out what's maybe better, that we actually miss out on the places we are in because we're never fully there. Like when we're in a place, we probably even think like, oh, I wonder how it would be if I would be at this other place now. When I look at Jesus and his disciples, I see the total opposite. I see a total contentment of them being with Jesus. I see them totally not being worried about the next thing, worried about missing out. They're following Jesus as soon as he asked them to follow them. And they're going with him all over the place. And I'm sure there were other opportunities to see other things, but no, they were committed to him. And that commitment to Jesus also brought like stability into their lives. It brought into their lives like a feeling of being content. Because they were content being with Jesus, right? They were fine. And then later on, it even shows that pretty clearly when they come into a situation where Jesus challenges a lot of people and that it will not be always easy to follow him because there will be challenges being a Christian, right? And what happens? A lot of people leave. A lot of people that were following him so severely and were excited and whatever, they all take off. And then he asks his disciples, his closest ones, are you guys going to take off too? What do they say? No, Jesus, we have nowhere to go. Where would we go? We're with you. So what does that show? It shows this connection, this deep connection, this deep relationship with Jesus. This being content with him. This feeling of like, I'm going to be with him. I'm not going to miss out on anything else. Because there's nothing better out there than right now being with him. And the reality is, when we live our lives like that, it's going to affect our relationships, it's going to affect our communities, it's going to affect our neighborhoods. And you know why? Because if you're committed to a person, they're starting to be committed to you. It's like a marriage, right? But if you always feel like, oh, there's something better out there that I might miss, you will never be able to build that depth. You know? If you look at the world, like a lot of people go into marriages and into relationships with the thinking of, I'm going to go into this for now, but if there's something better, I can always leave it. I heard that even from people that went into marriage like that. But that's not a good foundation. We need to commit. We need to be content with where we're in. And we need to go to a place that we're not always thinking about we're missing out somewhere else. Because the reality is we don't. Because if we are at a place, if we're connected with people, the other people that are at the other place, they don't have that experience that we're having. They don't have that depth that we are having. And isn't that amazing? That we're able to have such a depth in relationship. So I want to encourage you in that. If you have that feeling inside of you, that you feel like, I don't want to commit because there might be something better coming up. That feeling of being not content ever in life and always thinking there might be something better coming up or I'm missing out if I commit. I want you to really bring that to Jesus and say, Jesus, I want you to come into that place. Help me to be content. Help me to live a life where I'm more focused on you than focused on all those other things and being worried that I miss out. And Jesus, I also want to ask you to touch those areas and show me why I have that feeling. Because when you do that, it's going to start changing you. It's going to start you being able to start committing. You being able to change in the way of like, wow, I'm actually really happy with where I'm at. I'm really happy with those people. It's really going to change you. So Jesus, I want to pray for every person that's going to watch this, that you really speak deeply to their hearts. That you speak about areas where they feel like they're missing out on something. Where they feel like they're not enough, like, or it's not enough, or it's something like a feeling of not being content. Always the feeling of, oh, I have something better somewhere else. Or it might be in the future, but then never being actually there in the space where they're in. So God, I want to pray for healing of that area and revelation of those areas, Lord. And then I want to pray like that there will be a total contentment. A contentment being okay with you, just being with you, Father. So I just want to pray for that. And Lord, I also just want to pray blessings over every person that's watching this. Give them hope this week. And then give them places to commit in, to be connected in. Thank you, Jesus. And we pray it in your name. Amen. Have a blessed week. And just lean on him. And you're not missing out. Trust me.